Well, hello, everybody. It's been a while since I've seen any of you, so I figured I'd do a video tonight, and this will be a combination everything just for all of you. As you can tell, I'm wearing black tonight. Shameless plug for who I work for. um, so yeah, it's been a while. It's been a wild night. Um, I realized yesterday was International Goth Day, and I totally missed it. So that's why I did this today. And I'm wearing black earrings, black shirt. I have on a black skirt, black shoes, and finally, black lipstick. So, um, first, it's been a while since I had one. So, I'm going to have a cigarette. And all of you get to watch. So let's see. I have two brands to pick from tonight. I have Misty's, and I have my favorite, Capri. I think I'm gonna have a Capri first. Then I'll do a Misty after. Mm. So, how have all of you been doing? Now, here in the US, things are starting to get back to normal. Well, uh, one's definition of normal. Oh, also, my head is in a nice little poof, and you can see all the curlies. Yeah, I know I need a dye job, but it is what it is. Also, I got a cup my roommate gifted me that is so amazing, and it keeps stuff cold for so long. I've got sweet tea in here from one of my favorite restaurants in town, a place called Off the Hook. If you guys are ever in Thibodaux, Louisiana, you have to go there. You have to. The food is c'est magnifique. Um, Meanwhile, things for me are going um, as well as can be expected. I'm a little over 2 years into my transition, and my doctor, which I actually have an MD now, an MD. She is an endocrinologist, which, if any of you know some of what doctors do, endocrinology is the study of diseases, cancer, certain ailments with blood, and other related conditions, I believe. So I actually got one of those, and I went to see her in March, and she's like, okay, we did your levels. Here's what we found. And she looked at everything else before she got to the important part. She's like, your cholesterol's good, your liver and kidney functions are good. Um, she says, for someone who smokes, you are in remarkably good health. I'm like, okay, when are we going to get to the important part? She says, the important part. She says, okay, your levels are a little high in certain places. She says your estrogen is at 139. She says, so that's very good. And she says your testosterone is at 515. I'm like, okay. And she says, yeah, we need to bring that down. I'm like, okay. So I asked her, I said, where do my levels need to be able to get my bottom surgery? And I went on to say that the other provider that I was seeing said she wanted my testosterone to be down to 0. And the doctor looked at me and she says, that's not right, because even cisgendered women have a certain level of testosterone. So I was like, all right, I know my estrogen is at the right level. She said, yes. And I said, what do you want my testosterone to be down to? And she says, if we can get you down to the 200 range, I would probably be willing to do the surgery then. So I'm like, okay, great. So how do we go about doing that? So she says, what are you on as far as your testosterone medication? I said, well, I take 200 milligrams a day. She says, all right, let's up it to 300 milligrams a day. And she said, I might decide to get you to take an extra estrogen pill a day. But she says, other than that, it's not really that big of a concern, because she says your estrogen is where it needs to be already. I said, yeah, but I'm gonna go for the gusto. I'm gonna try and get to 200. She says, works for me. But she says we need to get the testosterone down, and she said my hematocrit, which is the iron level in someone's blood. She says your iron was at a 52, and she says that's a little high. And I said, I understand that. And she says, what does your diet consist of? I'm like, no offense, everything that won't eat me first. She started laughing. She says, okay, that makes sense for someone who was born and raised here. I said, yes, ma'am, I was born and raised here. She says, she's like, do you eat a lot of seafood? I said, no, I do not eat a lot of seafood. She says, how about red meat? I said, beef is a absolute favorite of mine. Nothing beats a good hamburger with everything on it, minus pickles. I know. All the pickle lovers out there are gonna hate me, but I don't think pickles go on a burger. It's just my thing. It makes it sour. Pickles or tomatoes do not go on any burger that I order from anywhere. I don't care. It's just, it doesn't taste right. Light lettuce, cheese, depending on what kind of cheese. Um, Mayo, ketchup, sometimes mustard. Um, and yeah, about that's about what I normally get on my burger. But anyway, she's like, try to reduce your meat intake. Uh, Eat more chicken. Um, she says chicken, turkey. She says certain vegetables I want you to try and avoid because they can have a high level of iron. And she said absolutely try to avoid anything, excuse me, that has been processed. And she says anything that has MSG in it is an absolute no-no for you because that will kick your iron level up. I'm like, yes, ma'am. Anything else? She says, no. She says you don't have to avoid sodas. You can drink as much soda as you want. She said, you're not diabetic. She says you did express that you were hypoglycemic. I said, yes. She said, if you feel yourself getting kind of lethargic or, coming toward a crash, she says, make sure you eat something high in sugar. And she said, try and get at least between 3 and 5 small meals a day. I said, understood. But then I told her, I said, look, I deliver food for a living. I'm in my vehicle most of the day. So then she says, make sure you have snacks with you. And then she says, I'm also going to refer you to an internalist. You'll meet with them here, and they'll address any of your other issues. So I was like, yippee. And then I had to go downstairs at the place where my appointment was and do more lab work. It's like poke and prod, and they took like 4 freaking tubes of blood out of me. I'm like, damn, y'all want to leave me a quart low or what? So yeah, after that, that was a nice trip. Then about 2 to 3 weeks later, I had to go back, which where I go to is in New Orleans, and I'm about 60 miles away, which is 120 plus mile round trip. And it's like, oh my God, I fucking hate this. But they don't have any places down here where I live that deal specifically to um, trans people and that allow us to get the medicines we need or the services we need because, well, this is Louisiana. So it's kind of backwoods and whatnot. So, yeah. Anyway, so I've been taking my meds, not faithfully, because nobody takes meds faithfully. Anyway, I've been taking them kind of when I remember. I'm horrible at remembering things. Oh, wow. But it's kind of trying to get that sweet spot, and just trying to take things one day at a time. My stress levels are off the chart, as always, with someone like me. Um, it's a chore to get up some days. It's like I don't want to adult, but that's the depression and everything else, and I'm just 50 shades of fucked up. Trust me. Those of you that know me know how I am. Um, oh, that was a good one. That was good. Black. I absolutely love a lipstick stain filter. Absolutely. The all white's the best though, because you can see the lipstick clearly, like the little lipstick prints, and just amazing. Anyway, that's one down. Now to reapply, and now I'm gonna smoke a Misty for y'all. Absolutely love black lipstick. I don't know why. I mean, I never thought of myself as goth before, but I think I'm more kind of like the emo range. Anyway, um, so yeah, that was one of the things I wanted to talk to you guys about, kind of highlighting my journey so far as being a hybrid, as I like to call it. Because, I mean, okay, think about it like this. If you call someone trans, they're trans what? I mean, yes, I'm switching from one gender to another, but just the word transgender kind of sometimes it rubs me the wrong way. So I've gotten to calling myself a hybrid. I'm like, I'm half male, half woman. I'm a hybrid. But, I wouldn't want to insult a good hybrid. Not. Fucking Prius. Anyway, so, alright, here is a Misty now for you guys. Well, you know what? I'm going to do two. This might be a long video today, folks, because you're going to see me smoke both of these, all the way to the filter. But anyway, so yeah, that's kind of my feelings on a couple of things. Somebody told me that I need to talk during these videos so that you guys can hear what I sound like and I have interesting things to talk about. So it's like, so anyway, I recently found out, y'all, that NCIS New Orleans is ending after 7 seasons. I'm like, oh my God, no. One of my favorite shows, you know what I'm saying? And um, it was definitely a tourist draw to people in New Orleans because a lot of these shows that film in the certain city that they're based out of do a lot of on location. So it's like, some of the restaurants and some of the places will have like little as seen on NCIS New Orleans, and it makes them want to go there. Be like, hey, I saw this place in an episode, and I wanted to come and take a look because it's so cool. And one of the production companies that partnered with CBS down here is having a sale. Um, I think it's $40 to fill a bag, $100 to fill a box, and if you go over there with a trailer wanting to take some memorabilia from the set, they're like, we'll discuss prices when you come. And it's like, all of that stuff is part of what makes the show. The set pieces, the decorations, the props. And it's like, if I were to do something like that, I would want to get my paws on an actual NCIS badge just to add to my collection. You know what I'm saying? Because I collect all kinds of stuff. Um, and then I found out once New Orleans ends, they're in production of NCIS Hawaii, which, don't get me wrong, I would watch it. I absolutely will. But that leads me to think, okay, they've already done shows in Hawaii. Hawaii 5-0, Magnum PI. One of the things that I'm thinking is, okay, they're going to recycle some of those characters from that show. I mean, you'll have Magnum guest in a couple of episodes. You'll have some of the people from Hawaii 5-0 as guest stars, or some of them could actually get on the NCIS roster for Hawaii. And it's like, okay, you think McGarrett is a commander in the Navy. He'd be perfect to be one of the series regulars on that show. Because it's like, okay, Hawaii 5-0 ended last year, year before, whatever. Time to take McGarrett and, put him and his cargo pants wearing self into more quality television. Because, I mean, I loved McGarrett. McGarrett and Danny were like the absolute odd couple. They were constantly bickering. It's like they were a married couple, and I absolutely loved it. And one of the lines from there, Dano looked at McGarrett and he's like, "You like a Pac-Man in cargo pants?" I'm like, "Oh my God." That's like a line for the ages. But, they were one of the good, cop partner scenarios. It worked. They played off of each other perfectly. It was just classic. Classic buddy cop relationship. So yeah, I absolutely love them. And I was sad when that show ended. But it's just like, every show has to end after a while. You run out of things to talk about. You run out of scenarios. You run out of scripts. So the script writers are just like, I'm tired of writing this bullshit every week. So then that's when they talk about series finale, or in some cases canceling the show. Which no person really wants a show to be canceled. That means that they're not doing their jobs as writers or as actors. But it just comes down to, we've been doing this show for so and so years. We want it to end. We've come as far as we can with our characters. The show's come far enough. We've had so many loyal viewers tune into us every week for however many months, years, whatever. And it's like we want to end it. So that's when the showrunners and the network decide, okay, well, we'll send this show out in a good way or with a cliffhanger and, make TV movies afterwards. It's what they did with Walker, Texas Ranger. I mean, how can you not, You have to give the viewers something that they're going to remember, whether it be heartfelt, emotional, sappy, or such a cliffhanger that the viewers will want to march on the network and be like, we want to see how this ended. We want an actual freaking ending. Just like Fox with Firefly back in 2002, if you guys remember that. That was a fiasco. I'm still upset with Fox about that to this day. Firefly was one of my favorite shows to watch. And then when the guy that played one of the title characters, Nathan Fillion, got his own show called Castle, he little by little brought all of his co-stars from Firefly as guest stars, and it was comedy gold. Like, it was absolutely hilarious. And I mean, Nathan Fillion is probably one of the best guys to work with because he's a professional and he keeps you on your toes. He also wants to make sure that you're doing the best that you can to help serve the story. So that would be one of the people that I would love to work with in any capacity, whether it be voiceover, actually standing opposite him for a scene. That would be absolutely amazing. And if I haven't told any of you guys, I want to go into voice acting. So that's kind of something that I want to try and pursue, which is why people have asked me, are you going to get the voice surgery being you're transitioning? I said, no. When they ask me why, I'll do one of my voices and say, that's why. They're scratching their head for a minute and they're like, you actually want to do that even though you're going to turn into a woman? I'm like, damn Skippy. There are some amazing voice actresses out there. There are some that have had so many roles. It's like you can hear their voice. Excuse me. And then your favorite character pops into your head and you're like, oh my God, you did the voice of so-and-so. And it's just like you fangirl for a minute. And then you're like, can you sign something for me? Or can I take a picture with you? That will be what I would like to do one day, just be a voice actress of one of their favorite characters that everybody knows and just get people to fangirl over me. I think that would be awesome. Getting toward the end now. About an inch left. Um, so yeah, I'm full of ideas, absolutely chock full of them. Um, if any of you guys actually watch this and you want to know more about me or shoot me a message or something, you guys can follow me on Instagram at AngieMarie985. Um, you can find me on Facebook, which I'm not sure if I've linked to my YouTube or not. I might decide to do that, but um, yeah, just one of those situations. So anyway, that one almost did not end well. I saved it for you guys. I saved it. I did not turn into a hacking coughing mess. Um, okay, so anyway, I hope those of you who watched this video actually enjoyed it, and I'm going to do another one soon. It's whenever my roommate isn't around. That way I can actually come down here, talk to you guys, sit, and actually kind of be comfortable. You know what I'm saying? I thought about doing some videos from the truck when I'm at work, but it's like I never know when I'm going to get another delivery. So it's like I can't really do that. And I definitely do not want to miss out on anything. Wow, this is quite a rush, just saying. Alrighty, guys. You take care now, and I'll see you soon.